Children, let us continue the chapter gravitation. Now let us discuss about the thrust and pressure. Before defining thrust and pressure, let us go through some examples. Have you ever wondered why a camel can run in a desert easily? You know that even though it is difficult to walk on the sand of the desert for us, but camel can run in a desert easily. One more situation let us consider. Why an army tank weighs more than 1000 tons rests upon a continuous chain? Why a truck or a motor bus has much wider tires? Why cutting tools have sharp edges? In order to address these questions, in order to answer these questions and understand the phenomena involved, it helps to introduce a concept of the net force in a particular direction, which is termed as thrust, and the force per unit area, which is termed as pressure, which acts on the objects concerned. Here, to come to the concept of thrust and pressure, go through the sharp edges of the cutting edges, and you know that here the effect of force depends upon the area of effect here. Now let us discuss about some situation to understand the meaning of thrust and pressure. Now you come to one situation. If you want to fix a poster on a bulletin board, here consider a poster. If you want to fix this poster on a bulletin board, to do this task you will have to press drawing pins with your thumb. Here you have to fix the drawing pin with your thumb. You apply a force on the surface area of the head of the pin. Here to fix it, to fix the drawing pins, you apply a force on the surface area of the head of the pin. This force is directed perpendicular to the surface area of the board. Here there is a board and the force will be in the direction perpendicular to the surface area of the board. This force acts on a smaller area at the tip of the pin. Here to adjust the poster, to fix the poster, we have to apply the force on the pin, and that force is perpendicular to the surface area of the board, and the force acts on a smaller area at the tip of the pin. So to fix a poster, drawing pins are to be pressed with the thumb perpendicular to the board. In this situation, the force is acting on the object perpendicular to its surface. Force is acting on the object perpendicular to its surface, and this type of force is called the thrust. Observe here, the force is acting perpendicular to the surface of the object. Force is acting perpendicular to the surface of the object. Children, you stand on loose sand. Your feet go deep into the sand and lie down on the sand. Your body will not go that deep in the sand. If you stand, your feet go deep into the sand, but if you lie down, your body will not go that deep in the sand. In both the cases, the force exerted on the sand is the weight of your body. If you stand, the weight is same. If you lie down, the weight is same. Both the cases, the force exerted on the sand is the weight of your body. You know that weight is the force acting vertically downwards. When you stand on loose sand, The force, that is the weight of your body, is acting on an area equal to area of your feet. When you lie down, the same force acts on an area equal to the contact area of your whole body. If you stand, only your foot is in contact with the sand, and that is the lesser area. When you lie down, your whole body will in contact with the sand, that is the area is more here. That is, in the second case, the area is larger than the first case. When you lie down, the same force acts on area equal to the contact area of your whole body, which is larger than the area of your feet. Thus, the effects of forces of the same magnitude on different areas are different. In above the cases, thrust is the same. Thrust is the same, but effects are different. So, the effects of thrust depends on the area on which it acts. You know that the force is acting perpendicular to the surface of the sand, and the force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface is called thrust. Here the effect of thrust is different. The effect of thrust is more in the case of if you stand, and less in the case if you lie down. Therefore, the effect of thrust depends on the area on which it acts. The effect of thrust on sand is larger while standing than while lying, because in both the cases same force is applied on the sand, but here the areas are different. And in the first case, when you are standing on the sand, a same amount of force is exerted on the smaller area, and when you are lying down, the same amount of force is exerted on the larger area. So the effect of thrust on sand is larger while standing than while lying. The thrust on unit area is called pressure. So here pressure is more when you are standing and pressure is less when you are lying. Then what is pressure? Pressure is the thrust per unit area. So then you write what is thrust? The force acting on an object, the force acting on an object perpendicular to its surface, perpendicular to its surface is called thrust. So what is thrust? The force acting on an object perpendicular to its surface is called thrust. Then what is pressure? Pressure is the normal force acting per unit area. Normal force acting per unit surface area, or the thrust on unit area is called pressure. So you write pressure is defined as the normal force acting per unit surface area. Normal force acting per unit surface area. Unit surface area. Pressure is defined as the normal force acting per unit surface area. Or also you can write, or The thrust on unit area. What is the force? The thrust on unit area. The thrust on unit area. Thrust on unit area is called pressure. Pressure. The thrust on unit area is called pressure. So you can write pressure equals thrust by surface area. By surface area. Symbolically you can write P is the symbol for pressure. P equals thrust is nothing but a force F by A. F by A, that is the force per unit area. And what is the SI unit of pressure? SI unit of pressure is Pascal. That is Newton m to the power of minus 2, Nm to the power of minus 2 or Newton per meter square. Here you know that what is the unit of force? N, and unit of area is m square. So Newton per meter square or Nm to the power of minus 1. So you take SI unit of pressure is SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square or Nm power minus 2, and also it is termed as Pascal. PASCAL, Pascal. In short you can say it is PA. So what is the SI unit of pressure? SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square or Nm to the power of minus 2, and it is termed as Pascal. The symbol is PA. Then what is 1 Pascal? 1 Pascal equals 1 Newton per meter square. Then 1 PA equals how much? 1 Newton per 1 meter square. Then definition of 1 Pascal. Definition of 1 Pascal. Then what is the definition of 1 Pascal? 1 Pascal is defined as the 1 Pascal is defined as the pressure exerted on a unit surface area. Pressure exerted by a unit surface area by a unit surface area by a thrust of 1 Newton. By a thrust of 1 Newton. 1 Newton. So you know that it is a thrust of 1 Newton is exerted per unit area. The unit Pascal is taken in honor of scientist Blaise Pascal. The SI unit of pressure is called Pascal. That is in the honor of scientist named Blaise Pascal. Blaise Pascal. He is an scientist. In the honor of his name, the unit of pressure is taken, that is Pascal. Now let us consider a numerical example to understand the effects of thrust acting on different areas. Consider a block of wood. A block of wood is kept on a tabletop. A block of wood is kept on a tabletop. The mass of block is 5 kg. Mass of block is 5 kg. And its dimensions are 40 centimeter, 20 centimeter and 10 centimeter. Find the pressure exerted by the wooden block on the tabletop if it is made to lie on the table with its sides of dimension 20 centimeter into 10 centimeter and 40 centimeter into 20 centimeter. In the first case, here the area are here 20 centimeter into 10 centimeter and other one 10 centimeter and into 40 centimeter. In the first situation, the sides of dimension 20 centimeter, 10 centimeter kept on the table, lie on the tabletop. Here the position is like this way. And in this case we have to find the area of the contact of the tabletop and the wooden block. And in the second case the position is like this way. In both the cases we have to find the areas of the contact of both the wooden box and wooden block and the tabletop. So first you take the force exerted here. To find the pressure, we have to find the force exerted by the wooden block on the table. To find the force exerted, that is nothing but a weight of the wooden block. Force exerted is equals to weight of the wooden block. So you take, here M is given, M equals how much? 5 kg. And you know the acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 ms to the power of minus 2. Then find W. After that let us find the pressure. So here write the formula for W. W is equals to M into G, that is 5 into 9.8 and 5 into 9.8 is how much? 8 5 is 40, 9 5 is 45 plus 9 4 49. So we will get 49.0 Newton. So the force weight of the body is here, that is nothing but the force exerted by the wooden block on the table, that is 49 Newton. Then you know the formula to find the pressure, that is F by A, that is nothing but the thrust by surface area. Then you got, therefore you write F is equals to 49 N. Now let us find the surface area of wooden block in contact with tabletop with dimensions 20 centimeter into 10 centimeter. And the surface of the wooden block is in the shape of rectangle. You know the formula to find the area of the rectangle. Area of the rectangle equals length into breadth. So you write area equals L into B. This is L. Consider this is B. L into B, that is 20 centimeter into 10 centimeter. And you must convert this into meter. 20 centimeter means you write 20 centimeter by 100 into 10 centimeter by 100. Then it becomes 0.2 cm into 0.1 cm. The product you will get. So area equals 0.2 into 0.1. You will get 0.02. You know that 0.2 into 0.1, 2 ones are 2. You will get here 1 and 1, 2 places are there after the decimal point. So you must take 0.02 cm square. Then you write the formula for the pressure here. Then you write P equals, pressure equals force per area, that is F by A. F by A or thrust per area. F is, you got here, that is 49 N. Then you write 49 n by 0.02 m square. Then you can write 49 by 0.02 means put 20 by 2 n by m square. And if you divide 4900 by 2, 2 2s are 4 and 9, you will get 2 4s are 8, 1 0, 2 5s are 10, again here you will get 0. So you got that 2450 n m to the power of minus 1 Newton per meter square, or nm power minus 2. That is in the first case A, when the sides of dimensions 20 centimeter and 10 centimeter is on the tabletop. Next, when the again you get the area equals L into B. Area L is here 40 centimeter into 10t centimeter. Convert this into meter. That is 40 centimeter by 100, because you know that 100 centimeter is 1 meter, into 20 centimeter by 100. To convert centimeter into meter, you must divide it by 100. Then you write, again you will get 0 0 cancels, 4 by 10 means 0.4 cm, 0 0 cancels, 2 by 10 means 0.2 m, not cm, m it is, m. Then you will get 4 2s are 8, and here 1 2 points are there, 2 numbers are there, 2 digits are there after the decimal point. So you write, put 0.0 m square. Now you write the pressure equals F by A. Then F is same, that is 49 n by 0.08 meter square. That equals 4900 by 8 n by m square. Then you write 4900 divided by 8. 8 6 are 48, 1 is remaining, 8 1s are 8, 2 is remaining, then 8 2s are 16, 4 is remaining, put 0, that is 8 5s are 40. So you will get 612.5 n m power minus 2. So in the second case, the pressure exerted by the second case, that is pressure exerted by the 40 centimeter into 20 centimeter is 612.5 n m power minus 2. So you write the answer. First case and second case both you must write. First to take the pressure exerted by the side 20 centimeter into 10 centimeter is 2450 n m power minus 2, and by the side 40 centimeter into 20 centimeter is 612.5 n m power minus 2. Thus, the same force acting on a smaller area exert a larger pressure. Here what you have verified, the area is smaller but the pressure is more. Here the area is more but the pressure is less. The same force acting on a smaller area exert a larger pressure, and a smaller pressure on a larger area. This is the reason why a nail has a pointed tip and knives have sharp edges and buildings have wide foundations. So if you want to take some daily life applications of pressure, you know that the handles of a bag, sand, suitcase, etc. are made broad so that the smaller pressure is exerted on the hand. Buildings are provided broad foundations so that the pressure exerted on the ground becomes less. Railway tracks are laid on cement or iron sleepers so that the pressure exerted by train is spread over the larger area and thus becomes less. Pins, needles, and nails are provided sharp pointed ends. Cutting tools have sharp edges. So let us write one by one some daily life applications of pressure. Some daily applications of pressure. First one you write the handles of bags and suitcase etc. The handles of bags, suitcase etc. are made broad so that the small pressure is exerted on the hand. So that small pressure is exerted on the hand. Buildings are provided broad foundations. Buildings are provided broad foundations so that the pressure exerted on the ground becomes less. So that the pressure exerted on the ground becomes less. On the ground becomes less. Railway tracks are laid on cement or iron sleepers. Laid on cement or iron sleepers. So that the pressure exerted on the ground becomes less. On the ground becomes less. Pins, needles and nails are provided sharp pointed ends. Cutting tools have sharp edges. Cutting tools have sharp edges.